House of the Boogeyman, back at it. YouTube, thanks for clicking on this video. Um, I got some Scream 6 discussion. I just want to do a little quick review of the movie. My thoughts, and hopefully you guys can leave your thoughts and opinions, comments down below. And at the end of this video, hopefully you guys can like and subscribe. I got this beautiful Scream 6 poster back here, added into my collection. I'm still in the process of moving a few things around on this wall, but it's coming out pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I just want to do a quick thought on the movie. I did enjoy the film. I ended up going and seeing it alone, so I was able to record. I ended up recording the whole movie on my phone, pretty much the whole thing. I missed the first couple of minutes of recording it, but I was able to just prop my phone up on my chair next to me and just film the whole movie, so that was pretty cool. But as far as my thoughts on the movie, I think the opening was one of the best parts of the whole movie. The kills were brutal. I like the Samara Weaving character getting killed off, kind of staying true to the original in a way, how there's always a big name being killed off in the Scream franchises. That's huge to stay, canon with the original movies. To me, like that, for instance, Drew Barrymore getting killed off in, the beginning of Scream, and Scream 2, Jada getting killed off, Jada Pinkett getting killed off. uh it's a weird last name, but and also Amar Epps, getting killed off in that opening movie of scene of Scream. Two bigger names. That's what Scream's known for. Um, um, even Sarah Michelle Gellar getting killed off early in that second movie. It's just something that Scream does. They get the big names, and somebody's got to die. So so it's funny. Like, a lot of people say that Scream doesn't like to kill off the big names in the movie, but that's definitely not true. Um, so it's kind of like the only instance where it didn't happen was Scream 5, with Jenna Ortega. Everybody thought she was going to be the opening kill until she, has now lived on and been one of these young future, legacy type characters that we're already starting to build with Sam. And you know it's great. It's great to see with Sam and Tara, um, how they're really becoming, the leaders of this franchise. Um, and Sam taking stepping up and taking the role of her father in a way, but in a good way. She's not really on the evil side, and that's another thing I wanted to really mention and discuss, was how she's seeing a counselor in the beginning of the movie, and she feels like she has this darkness inside of her, as she said in the trailer, and it's kind of following her. Yes, she means the Ghostface killer, but you can tell throughout the film she's still struggling with this, like a demon literally inside of her that wants to follow in her dad's footsteps. She, for sure, when when she sees the apparitions of him in the shrine, Richie's, as we, spoiler alert, as we find out, it's Richie's collection, of all the original Ghostface. He was obsessed with the Ghostface killings and the memorabilia, as a lot of us are obsessed with the Scream franchise as a movie. I mean, this is the real life killer from the previous film, obsessed with not only the stab films, as we've seen in Scream 5, Richie's character, but he's obsessed with the real life murderers. Billy Loomis, Nancy Loomis, the real killers. So I thought that was very well done, how they connected it into the end, and we'll get there to that. But as far as that opening kill with the Laura character played by Samara Weaving, I think that was very well done. It tricked me at first. At first I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna get this cult of Ghostface, because we see this Jason character um, pull off the mask and reveal himself, and and you think, well, it's going to be a cult, because if they're showing themselves this early and he's putting his mask in his bag and just taking off, he's got the robe and the mask already put back in his way, and he's already on the streets of New York City. He's he's down the road, and then happens to just run into Tara and the girls walking through the town with Sam and everybody walking through the town, and I'm not sure if Sam was there at that point or not, but he sees them, and he's just like an ordinary dude. I like how that was very well kind of played off, but you could tell, okay, we're gonna get maybe that cult type of vibe from this, and it kind of went another route. It kind of was like the cult vibe, but it kind of went in another route. So it's kind of cool how that worked out. I also like the scene where the Jason character goes to put his mask that he just committed this murder with on the Samara Weaving character, Laura. And he's got his collection of masks, and next to it, he's got this 25th anniversary right here, which is what they used for the filming of Scream 5, and also what they made these new Ghost, for the most part, Scream 5, a lot of these and some standard EUs. But they also used one of these in Scream 6 for the weathering and the repaint and everything, and some EUs as well. They used all types of masks, but this is just a beautiful mask, and it was nice to see this mask in the movie, just sitting there looking so beautiful next to the one with blood that the Jason character sets there. And then he goes into the kitchen as Ghostface calls him. Still haven't really broke it down to figure out which Ghostface it was that called, and he sees his friend in the freezer there, but he thinks he's so. And then he ends up dying a brutal kill. So that was intense. The whole movie was pretty intense as far as the kills. I really felt like they were kind of leading up and towards Sam's new boyfriend being the killer. Even not even Sam's new boyfriend, but Kirby. They were really leading it up to Kirby being the killer. I think it was just really well done. It was a really, really well done film. I like how they tried to bring the masks back, like the aged Ghostface masks, and this one was Stu's and this one was Billy's. It was really well done. Lots of good moments in it. This is a little different because we see Gale die off in this movie too, as Scream 5 kills off a legacy character in Deputy Dewey Riley, David Arquette character. Now Courtney Cox looks like she's on her way out of the Scream franchise as Gale Weathers has been killed off. But hey, I think we have to move past some of these legacy characters. It doesn't mean that they're not still in the previous storyline of what's going on right now. They could easily still have some piece to do with the movie from some type of flashbacks or things like that, like we've seen in the past. Even with Billy Loomis appearing not only in Scream 5, but also in Scream 6 now, as flashbacks for Sam. And, that all falls back on the darkness that she was dealing with her father. And, even the trauma of having Richie do what he did to her in the previous film. She thought she could love and trust him. She was in love with him to an extent. It was her boyfriend, and she trusted him, and it was... she had to do what she had to do. And I know she's over that now in this film, but it's definitely still stuck with her. She had to kill him. And spoiler alert, the killers, being Officer Bailey and the Ethan character, which would be Richie's brother, and then his sister, the redhead chick. I just thought that was pretty unique. You didn't really see that coming, especially since the redhead girl there, I forget her name, but she dies off in the, you know, towards the beginning of the movie, so you figure, you know, she's dead. And then for her to come back, I thought it was pretty well done, pretty surprising, um, and really thoughtful. I think that towards the ending of the film, we could have had a little bit of more of like a psychotic personality from one of the three in a way. I know Officer Bailey or Detective Bailey was kind of off his shit, but not really like we've seen in previous Ghostface. Um, and that I think that's something that this movie did lack near the ending. Um, there wasn't like a lot of, you know, the Ghostface type behavior that we see when the killer unveils himself. It's more like a psychotic type of behavior. Hence Mickey or Billy or Stu. You know. Um, but other than that, the movie had a great, you know, motive. The motive was good. Not that it needed to be that deep of a motive, but it still really worked with what they were doing, and I think it all really stayed and made sense. I'm not sure how I feel about there being a sequel. I don't know where they can really go from here. I think it really ended perfectly between Sam and Tara, that they can really go back and start their lives now, and maybe if they do a seven, this is going to be down the down the road quite a bit. I'm assuming once they feel like this is pretty much this is over with, and maybe they'll be able to bring Nev Campbell back in some way to make it make sense, because I know that's what us fans want. We want closure with Nev Campbell. We want Sidney Prescott back in the Scream franchise. If you look, now that they've killed off these legacy characters like Dewey, Gale, um, Randy, and you know, obviously Stu's probably not coming back, more than likely, and Billy's dead. We do see these flashbacks, but with these legacy characters being dead, you still have Kirby from the fourth one. She's lived through quite a bit now, but it makes you realize that if we want to continue on with this storyline, we need to build these new legacy characters that we're doing now, and I like what they're doing, but I just don't know how much further they can make it go with this current timeline. I feel like after Scream 7, this could potentially be it for this timeline. Um, or potentially maybe even one more after it that would end not only what's this has become, which I think Scream 6 has done a great job of that. I think that 6 would be a perfect ending to this storyline in general, other than making one more and having Nev Campbell come back and have more closure with her character in a way, for the fans, but also in the series and the timeline, because the way 5 ended, she 4 and 5, you know, it was brutal for her. You know, she made it through it, but she didn't really get her revenge, especially in 4. She was laying on the ground getting revenge at Ghostface, laying on the ground having to pull the trigger and defend herself helplessly. Scream 5, she was it was reminiscent of Scream 1, being in that same kitchen, damn near. You know, it is what they did, the same house. So it wasn't the actual house, but it was. I think it was a replica house. Anyhow, being, you know, reminiscent to the '96 film in Scream 5 and having her go out that way. I don't. I mean, I could see it, but I don't think that's what the fans would want. If you know, her being in the franchise, I would love to see her back. I would love to see her come back and finish it off right, and have this other Ghostface be a connection with her past. Something that has to be with her past, but she gets this final revenge. And that's what I would want to see. Whether that is bring Stu Macher back, whether that is something that could potentially tie back to the original films, not just 5 and 6. Even something from 4 to bring it back. I mean, there's ways that it could work, most definitely. So I guess we could save that for another discussion. But as far as the film, I think it was very well done. But there is a possibility that wasn't Officer Bailey in that store that did that shooting. I think that there could have been another killer. Is that what's setting up the sequel? Is that Sam's boyfriend that she's with now? I mean, he's a nice guy, but if you look at the build, you know, he was a lot more like that Ghostface than Detective Bailey. But then again, we know it's a stuntman. But at the same time, how are they going to carry out and make a 7th movie if it's not someone from this previous film? I mean, I suppose they did it here with 6, but there's a lot of questions to carry on now that we know there's going to be a sequel. I think they maybe should have waited until later to announce that so we could, you know, fully enjoy this for what it is, which I have. But now it kind of makes you wonder and think and really want to go back and pay attention to things that, you know, could lead up to this next movie being a sequel, but being a sequel to this from this. But I hope everybody got to really enjoy this movie, get out and go see this movie. I'll probably have another review here in a couple of months on it once I'm able to see it again on a big screen and the proper clarity. Hopefully that DVD and Blu-ray pack, or the Blu-ray and the 4K, will be also released in 3D, as I know it was in some of the cinemas. But it would be nice to see it in 3D and have that option included in the physical release. Let me know if you guys would want to see that also. So, House of the Boogeyman here, and I hope you guys got to enjoy the movie. What did you think of the ending, with the killers being, you know, Richie's family, but then Sam and Tara getting their revenge? I think it was very well done how they got revenge. Some of the kills, right through the throat, right in the mouth of the, you know, the kid, Richie's brother, would have been Ethan. Man, some brutal kills. Jack Champion, hell of a performance. I mean, I think he could have been a little bit more psychotic. One of them needed to be, but I think Bailey should have been a little more on the crazier side. I mean, there's some performances I liked from him throughout the film, but we'll just have to wait and see where it goes from here, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know your comments on any of the scenes that I mentioned, or if there's any questions you have or things you pointed out, or any Easter eggs, anything. Let me know. I'll be looking forward to some of these other guys that break it down, and I love watching everybody else's reviews. And you know, I'll keep it subscribed and keep on watching some of these videos when I can. Appreciate all the love, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the film. If you haven't seen it yet, you're in for a treat. And try to just keep supporting, and you know, we'll keep these theaters going. And you know, we won't have to have a theater closed like we had the video stores closed. So, House of the Boogeyman, have a good one, everybody. Take care. Have a good weekend.